It's been an incredible 6 months for our latest Antler cohort, and we're very excited to have you all tuned in to this Antler UK Demo Day. Welcome. Even if today is the final stop of a particular route, the companies you will hear from in a bit have only just started their entrepreneurial journeys, and this will be the first time they're presenting themselves to the public.
Antler brings together exceptional people to build their next businesses. We help entrepreneurs meet their co-founders, validate their business ideas, and then combine them with a global and diverse advisory network. The 7 companies you'll hear from today were incorporated only 4 months ago, and we're frankly blown away with how far they've come in such a short period of time. Being at the forefront of enabling people in building the defining companies of tomorrow by believing in and investing in them has always excited me. This is why I'm proud to be part of the Antler team.
The founders you will meet in just a few minutes have built their businesses through our second UK cohort that started earlier in March this year. But before we start, a few words about our first UK cohort, the 13 companies revealed at our last demo day in January. The companies have delivered major progress, and the founders have shown impressive personal growth. This through a rather turbulent year that will definitely go in the history books. We're proud to say that out of 13 companies, 9 have raised follow-on funding from reputable investors, including a £1.5 million round, and have achieved recurring revenues of up to £200,000.
For our second cohort, we were joined by 70 founders, selected from more than 2,600 applications. A diverse group of people representing 31 different nationalities, evenly balanced between tech, domain, and business backgrounds, and 20% were women, a number that we hope will continue to increase over the lifetime of our fund. 2 weeks into the program, the UK went into a national lockdown. This meant added uncertainty for the 70 people who had just started their entrepreneurial journeys with us. It was truly inspiring to see how all of them quickly adapted to the new reality. 30 teams were formed in phase 1 of the program, and in late May we made the decision to invest in 7 of them, of which 4 have at least 1 female co-founder. We want to give a big thank you to the 7 leading VCs that spent 3 full days with us to support us in making these investment decisions.
Also, a special thanks to our program and event partners. Salesforce App Exchange, the world's largest enterprise cloud marketplace, a trusted platform for entrepreneurs and startups to develop the best applications. The Silicon Valley Bank, who for more than 35 years has supported entrepreneurs and their investors move bold ideas forward fast. Whitesmith, a leading tech startup partner supporting the tech development of our UK portfolio. And the BVCA, who brings together the UK venture capital community.
We're now really excited to get started with the pitches. You'll first hear from the CEOs of each one of the companies, followed by a Q&A with the full founding team. If you have any questions or if you'd like to get in touch about investing in, collaborating with, or being one of the first customers of any of these companies, just head to demoday.antler.co/London and submit an inquiry through the Get in Touch button on the team's profiles. The team behind MAST is turbocharging mortgage lenders. They decided to work together 3 weeks after the UK was gripped by a national lockdown and the program went fully remote. Soon you'll hear from Joy, and with no pun intended, he's been an absolute joy to work with. Championing his team each and every day, Joy emboldens the passion needed to bring this industry out of the dark ages and into the 21st century. Paired with Rob's deep domain knowledge and Henry's ability to build, I'm excited to see how this team will help mortgage lenders unlock operational capability and process more applications in less time.
You're buying a new home, and like most people, you've gone through your mortgage broker. This broker will find the best mortgage for you and apply on your behalf. Problem is, lenders have policies which state who can get a mortgage and who can't, what documents to attach and how many. And these policies come in huge 60-page PDFs like this one, and brokers cannot keep up. Your mortgage application will have mistakes, which an underwriter needs to spot and get back to your broker, who needs to fix them by attaching more documents and maybe raising more questions. Repeat 2 or 3 times, and you can see why it can take up to 60 days to get a decision on your mortgage application. This is very painful for the customer, and it's even worse when the lender says no. This is one of the most time-consuming process of getting a mortgage, and lenders are desperate for a solution. We know this because my co-founder, Rob, wrote this document and saw the huge amount of time wasted when brokers didn't do what it said. Robert managed lending criteria at Barclays and is a mortgage policy expert. Henry is a senior software engineer and worked at Pivotal and at Thought Machine building the future of core banking technology. And I co-headed trading at Amber Capital, a leading event-driven activist equity hedge fund, and co-founded a venture-backed business before. We've spoken to small, medium, and large lenders across the country, and time again, poor quality application comes up as a major problem on operations. When we show them our solutions, their jaws are left on the floor. MAST creates a digital version of the lender's policy. The digitized policy gives instant real-time feedback to brokers on the quality of their applications. By the time a broker hits submit, they know exactly what document to attach tailored perfectly to their customer. We've also baked in open banking, AI-powered tax extraction, property license checks, and much more, making life easier for brokers than ever before. As a result, improving efficiency for lenders. When lenders use the MAST origination platform, they not only have groundbreaking digital experiences, but spend less time chasing brokers and missing documents, meaning they can underwrite mortgages 25% faster, shaving weeks of their offer time. But that also means issuing 1/3 more loans. For a large lender issuing more than £25 billion a year, this translates into at least £4 million in saving in admin costs, or an extra capacity of £258 million in net return fees. To put that in context, there was £260 billion of mortgage loans in the UK last year, and the US figure is nearly 6 times as large. So we're shocked to see that collectively lenders leave at least £2.8 billion on the table. In exchange for unlocking this capacity, we charge lenders a fixed annual fee plus a portion of each loan originated through the MAST system, aligning our interests with our customers. When they grow, so do we, and the more time we save them, the faster they grow. We want any lender of any size to be able to create the best digital experience for intermediaries and customers. By automating initial application checks, we help lenders save time and money on admin costs, allowing their staff to focus on credit decisions. This improved efficiency will enable lenders to manage peak in demands, issue more loans, and underwrite faster. In an industry where price and criteria are very competitive, technology is the key differentiator. We are creating an ecosystem of technology to transform the mortgage industry.
Brilliant, thanks team. So, my first question today is, why would a bank partner with you instead of building something like this in-house?
So we think that banks are good at banking and dealing with regulation, but they're not technology providers. Small and medium-sized lenders just don't have the resource to build this kind of thing in-house. And even large lenders that might, what we actually see is that almost all of their technology capacity is used up maintaining and managing their existing legacy mainframe systems. And we think that increasingly lenders are going to want to outsource these kinds of software initiatives to de-risk them.
Let's talk about sales. How long do you think it would take to get your first customer?
So given our insider nature, we have relationships with lenders already, and we have accelerated discussion with a couple lenders, so we're in good position. Large lenders, medium lenders, and short and small lenders have different cycles, and we expect a small lender to get anywhere between 6 months and 12 months.
Let's talk about competition. Is anyone doing something like this that you'll be competing with?
So most lenders currently outsource this to one of 3 main providers, and they sort of look after the bottom, middle, or top of the market. But really what they've done is they've taken the old paper-based form and they've turned it digital. We're really thinking, how can we use that form to increase efficiency for the lender and approaching this in a completely new way that no one else is doing. And the second thing that really sets us apart is the way that we've built this to be self-service. So lenders can go in and make changes without the need for developers.
Is this a UK-only business, or is there a route to international expansion?
So for now it's UK. We know the UK market quite well from our experience, and we also want to be close to our first customers. But we think that this could expand geographically to any country where there's a large portion of the business comes from brokers.
And then we're in the middle of a recession right now. Why would a bank focus on a UX improvement instead of focusing on their core capabilities?
It's not just a UX improvement, it's really what does that UX do for the lender, and the whole philosophy is how do we make lenders more efficient. And I think in a recession, any business would be happy to do more with fewer resources, and that's what we want to do. And the second thing is, if lenders are fiercely competing for market share, which they will be if application volumes fall, the MAST platform is a fantastic way to differentiate themselves because they're creating an outstanding digital journey, they're able to react faster and get offers out quicker.
Okay, thank you, Team MAST.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
If you want to get in touch, just head to demoday.antler.co/London and use the Get in Touch button on the Teams profile.
"10 years ago, you had to be a professional developer to build a website. Since then, a few companies have made it possible for anyone to build a website. The team behind Noah is doing the same thing for professional video. I had the pleasure of working with Stephanie and Philip over the last 6 months. The two of them immediately bonded because of their shared love for storytelling and video. They also complement each other really well with Philip's creative background and Stephanie's finance and strategy experience. Later joined by Shanks with experience in machine learning and from building video and music recording technology, one can say that this team truly has all it takes to disrupt a creative process that has not changed for decades.
Online video is changing how we learn, sell, and even connect to others. By 2021, each one of us will consume 100 minutes of online video per day. That is crazy, but the reason for that is very simple, because online video is the most captivating form of content. But unfortunately, creating a video also requires a lot of expertise, time, and money. And Noah is completely going to change that. My name is Philip, and for the past decade, I created online video and social media campaigns. As an owner of an agency, it was my job to understand what drives the cost of video so that we as a team could make changes in order to create video cheaper, easier, and faster in the future. A video actually has many moving parts and they all depend on each other, but they need to come together to create a great experience. There's ideation, script writing, recording, your performance in front of the camera, and editing. And all these different parts require different skills and they live on different devices. This is why today, if you want to create a video as a business owner, a marketeer, or a self-employed professional, you have two options available. A, you hire someone to do the job for you, or B, you invest your own time, you buy equipment, and you learn how to do it yourself. But let's be honest, these two options are not only super expensive, but also doing it yourself creates a lot of opportunity cost and inefficiencies. So when looking at the competitive landscape, we see many mature video creation tools that help you only with one aspect of the value chain. And therefore, they can't really help you. Because using a nicely designed editing tool still requires you to learn how to use it, while it certainly doesn't help you to get any of the other parts right. This is why we have created Noah, a holistic end-to-end video creation tool that provides its users with ideas, templates for script writing, tutorials to improve the performance in front of the camera, a recording experience that guides you while also automatically editing the videos for you. Studies have shown that an average YouTube video takes about 7 hours to be produced. Now imagine you're a therapist who earns £100 per hour. The opportunity cost of you producing this video would be £700. And now imagine a scenario where there's a video tool helping you to reduce this time by up to 80%, whilst keeping the quality of the video high. Well, this is exactly what Noah is going to do. And we actually have the team and the experience to bring this product to life. I myself am a former founder who spent his entire career in video and social. And Stephanie started her career as a consultant at Bain, where she focused on customer strategy and big data. And she then became the first employee and finance director of a VC-backed medtech business, where she helped them raise 20 million in capital. And our CTO, Shanks, was the technical co-founder of the mobile music recording application Tully, which grew to over 500,000 users before it was sold to Sony. Noah is going to be free in the beginning, but our subscription-based model is targeted to self-employed professionals and small businesses who are going to use Noah for education, marketing, human resources, social media, and internal communications. We already see some traction. We have 100 signups for our beta test, and on social media, we have built a following of over 6,000 people who are interested in video creation. We're also leveraging partnerships and a marketing collaboration with a business network of over 200,000 self-employed wellness professionals who are looking for a video tool that helps them digitize their business in times of increased remote working. But this is just the start. COVID is accelerating digitization, and we strongly believe that the market for Noah will grow in the future, as we're witnessing the enterprisation of the individual, meaning that more and more people will monetize their individuality and their expertise using platforms like Facebook or YouTube and tools such as Canva, Squarespace, and eventually Noah. Video is changing the world, and it is our mission to become the video powerhouse in your pocket, changing how video is made, enabling people to use video to tell their stories. Thank you.
First question is related to user engagement and retention. So you talk about the methodology for making these videos. So let's say that you've used this app for a while and you learn the methodology. Philip, why will you continue using it?
So understanding and knowing the methodology actually helps, but the real magic lies within the application and how all these different parts work together, because the tech and the tools and the features, they're all geared to working with each other and saving time eventually. So for example, the teleprompting feature that helps you record yourself, or the opportunity to change your script while you're recording also saves a lot of time. And you can't really emulate this with the conventional process or the conventional gear. So that's the reason why they will stick to Noah.
You talk about an 80% reduction in time to build a video. Can you elaborate a bit more on the other benefits of using Noah?
Yeah, for sure. So we really see three main benefits. So the first benefit would be how simple and easy to use the application is. So we spent a lot of time building an application that was very simple and intuitive for the user, enabling them to really feel in control of the process and giving them the gift of structure and ease. The second main benefit I would elaborate on would be the actual method and technology that underpin the application, because this really amplifies the time and cost saving for the user. And then the final benefit that I'll elaborate on would be the fact that you can do everything in one place. So if you think about the status quo, and Philip mentioned this in the pitch, people need to use the conventional methods which require many different devices, transferring big amounts of video data, and even learning how to use different editing tools. So those are, I would say, would be the three main benefits of Noah.
So what's your customer acquisition strategy? Say, how will you get your first 1,000 customers?
Yeah. So we'll definitely be using a number of different approaches. The first approach would be with partnerships. So we're actually really excited to say that we are finalizing a partnership with Epidemic Sound, which is one of the biggest music providers, and then as well as Black Eye Lens, which sells camera equipment and things to help you really amplify, creating video on your phone. And then also leveraging a marketing collaboration with a business network of over 200,000 wellness professionals. The second would be more about more organic style growth. So by this I mean customer referrals or user referrals, having some of our beta users, many of which have over 200,000 followers, promote Noah on our behalf, and also leveraging our existing social channel. And then once we've learned from these two main channels, then starting to go into paid advertising and being a bit more targeted.
Philip, can you talk a bit more about the longer term vision for Noah? What other things can you build for this market?
So Noah is really about building a community around video creation and data, right? So the next logic step would be to not only help people with talking head videos, but help people with a little bit more complex videos. So for example, if you want to create a video in different locations, or if you want to have more than one protagonist in front of the camera. The other thing could be, for example, for videos where you really need a team, or where you, for example, need a camera operator or some gear that needs to be better than the gear that you have available in your hand with your phone. To build a marketplace, right? To build a marketplace for video creation services, to even knit this community closer together than it already is, or that we're planning to do. And then the third one is going down the stream of value creation for video, and because the people are already creating the videos on our platform, also helping them to distribute on our platform, right? Not only sharing the content, but also monetizing on that content through Noah. So that's the different routes, but the vision behind Noah.
Thank you. Very excited to see how you progress with this.
Thank you.
If you're excited about what Stephanie and Philip are building and want to get in touch, please go on to demoday.antler.co/London and use the Get in Touch button on their page.
GLAIZE is reinventing nail care. The concept for GLAIZE was born in the first weeks of March and only got stronger with nail salons closing this year. Chris and Gina formed a strong team. Leaving a high-flying investment banking career with little to no time for anything else than work, including doing her nails, Gina brought the problem to the table. Chris, a product development and biotech expert, found a practical solution. The team is now building a strong consumer brand with a superior product that is well positioned to disrupt an industry that did not evolve since it was created.
This is what an average nail salon looks like in London. And this is how little nail polish has evolved over a century. The nail care industry is broken. Nail salons today provide women with a suboptimal experience. And the largest nail care brands that have been around for at least 40 years have failed to innovate on a product that was derived from the automotive and dental industries. Most women, including myself, don't enjoy the process of getting our nails done, not only because the chemicals used are bad for our health and the environment, but also because it takes time, effort, and money. We want to fix this, which is why we're building GLAIZE, the cure to the manicure. GLAIZE is a digital-first brand that's on a mission to reinvent nail care through technology while eliminating harmful ingredients and plastics, and we are starting with our made-to-measure gels. In a nutshell, they're a pre-assembled gel manicure delivered to your doorstep in a beautiful package along with everything you need to apply them at home. So what makes our gels special? First of all, they're super convenient and can be applied in a few minutes and peeled off in seconds. Unlike the mass market strips, ours will be made to measure and will last for 10 to 14 days chip-free. We're also using materials that are free from bad stuff, and our products are letterbox friendly to ensure fuss-free delivery. So we're combining convenience, efficiency, and quality while allowing our customers to avoid direct exposure to harmful substances. Here's how it works. At sign-up, customers snap a few photos of their hands, which our computer vision tool that we've developed using proprietary technology converts into a 3D model. Once our customers choose their colors, we use that model to customize their gel sheets before delivering within 2 to 3 working days. As a frustrated nail care consumer, I know that we can do better. My background in investment banking and sustainable development perfectly complements Chris's, who has extensive product personalization and manufacturing experience in the biotech sector. We're also being supported by some amazing advisors, like the head of marketing and e-commerce at Astrid & Miu, as well as Gary Clark, who has a lot of experience in the consumer space. We also have R&D partnerships with academic institutions. We're determined to become a leading player in the $45 billion global nail care market, in which the largest players that have been around for decades have failed to innovate. We'll be launching in the UK, a $2 billion market where salon goers are spending an average of £450 per year. Our gels will be sold at £13 per set, allowing us to tap into both the product and services segments. We'll be launching our MVP in the UK in a couple of weeks, allowing us to alpha test our product before we roll out the plant-based version of our product as well as geographically. We know that we're building something that women want. At the outset of this journey, 75% of over 200 women said that they would be interested in GLAIZE. And since recently launching our website, over 400 people have signed up to our waitlist. We are GLAIZE, and we don't just want to change how women get their nails done, but also what nail care products are made of. Thank you.
Gina, Chris, how will you build loyalty in a market that is known to be unloyal?
So customers today are very clever. So we think that by offering them a product that is superior to what's out there, we can start to build a relationship with them. And by also selling direct to customers, we're able to kind of nurture that relationship, and that will allow us to build loyalty. The reality is that today, loyalty doesn't really exist because what's out there is not that great for the customer, and those large brands are more focused on B2B sales. And so we differentiate ourselves by only selling directly to our customers, and we hope that that's going to pay back in terms of loyalty.
How far are you in verifying the end-to-end functionality of the product?
So we've been using a combination of laboratory partners and our own in-house testing methods, both of which are based on very recognized industry standards in terms of durability, aesthetics, and adhesion. And we've also developed some of our own more in-house tests, which will stress test based on dishwashing, gardening, basically the things that your nails will be exposed to on a day-to-day basis. And we're now at almost 7 days in terms of durability.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about technology. How complicated is the tech that you use to measure the nails? And is it something that you developed proprietary or that you bought off the shelf?
It's complicated, and that's why when we started with off-the-shelf open source solutions, we realized we quickly had to move into a proprietary method. And interestingly, the hardest part is actually ensuring consistent data from our users. It's user-generated content and it's user-generated photos. So there's a lot of inter-photo variability. But beyond that, we will, yes, be developing proprietary systems, which will only get better the more photos we feed it and the longer it is used.
How will you be able to keep your price structure down if your plan is to move to more vegan or sustainable products?
So as we scale, we expect our costs to decrease by 20 to 30%. So as we shift to the vegan version of our product that's also plant-based, we will be able to maintain the same level of margins by absorbing some of those costs. And you know, customers are also willing to pay a premium when it comes to sustainable products. So we might also charge part of the increase in cost back to the customer.
And now maybe the most exciting question. How close are you to launching the product on the market?
So we are already at a 7-day product, and we'll be launching an alpha version of this in middle of November this year. And by the end of February next year, we will have the full product ready to launch, and the bio-based version will also be ready in Q3 of next year.
Gina, Chris, I know a lot of people who are looking forward to using your product. And if you would like to collaborate to reinvent nail care, log on to demoday.antler.co/London and connect with GLAIZE.
At Antler, we tell all our founders to fall in love with the problem not the solution. Pierre and Kanwal, to some extent, went against the stream and let their shared passion for computer vision and sports guide them to a problem worth solving. And after tons of research, we think they're onto something very exciting. The team was later joined by Harry, an experienced CTO and successful entrepreneur who brings the experience and knowledge to scale this business to its full potential. I really enjoyed problem solving with the three of them around this exciting yet complex domain.
We are METALYNX, and we're building computer vision technology to bring sports sponsorships into the digital future. The sports industry is changing. The way we consume sports is shifting away from traditional TV towards digital streaming, with digital growing 4 times faster than TV. And it's not just your usual sports channels anymore. Amazon recently bought rights to the English Premier League, and Facebook to Indian cricket. So, what will this mean for advertisers and sponsors? Well, compare it to the publishing industry. There, advertisers are able to reach the right audience digitally in the right time and place, instead of the crude one-size-fits-all approach of newspapers. And yet, this one-size-fits-all approach is exactly where sports sponsorships still are today. Brands are spending $150 billion every year to buy rights and create content around sports. But they have no control over the audience or the timing of these investments, like they would in their digital marketing. And similarly, clubs and leagues miss out on a lot of money by relying only on their in-stadium advertising, instead of what's an almost unlimited virtual inventory. So, let me show you our vision of the future, with an example in football. Underlying everything we do is computer vision. Regular 2D footage is analyzed, and a 3D reconstruction of the pitch is created. The players, ball, audience, adverts are all tracked across scenes. The first opportunity that this unlocks is the ability to replace banners in real time entirely in software. This means the same banner can be sold to multiple sponsors depending on the viewer. But our tech doesn't just understand objects, it also understands moments, their intensity, their importance within the context of a game. So a specific sponsor can be added to a specific moment and associated with that action, such as here, the equalizing goal brought to you by LastSecond.com, for example. Once our tech is in place, brands will be able to reach their exact audience at scale. And we have the perfect team to build this. Kanwal is our computer vision expert with 15 years and a PhD in the field. She has more than 1,000 citations and was one of the original founders of computer vision startup Magic Pony. Prior has 15 years of full-stack experience as co-founder and CTO of successful startups, including Winnow. As for myself, I used to be a consultant with Bain & Company, and then also founded my own startup in computer vision for fitness. So far, our technology has gathered significant interest. We have just been shortlisted for the final round of a grant with FIFA's Technology Innovation Scheme. The largest sports production company has given us data, and we have iterated with them on prototypes. And we have just signed our first official pilot agreement with a national football league moving towards digital broadcasting. With these partners on board, we can now start building our product and productize the tech over the coming year. We see computer vision playing a critical role in the future of sports, and we at METALYNX will be leading the way.
So my first question is around competition. So Harry, how are you different from the other companies out there doing logo replacement or virtual banners? What's your USP?
Right, so I guess the first difference is that our tech is completely software-based, so there's no need for hardware infrastructure within the stadiums. And then the second difference is that we allow targeting that is more precise than anything that's actually out there at the moment. So not only can we segment our virtual ads all the way down to the individual, we can also segment them to specific sporting moments, whether that's a goal or something more subtle. And in the long run, I would say we can use the same tech to bring fully programmatic advertising to sports sponsorships, which is something that's not currently out there.
What Pierre has just described in terms of technology sounds quite sophisticated. How difficult is it to build something like this?
Well, it is difficult, as there's no off-the-shelf software that does this. But within our team, we have the experience and the expertise to get it done. It involves both development on the computer vision algorithm side and also on the deployment side, and we have that knowledge between us.
So Harry, how easy is it to scale this technology from one sport to another? What are the synergies between different sports?
So to answer that question, I'd probably break down our tech into two key components. The first is the ability to add or replace advertising in sports footage. So to do that, you first need to create a 3D reconstruction of the playing field and all the objects within it. And that is something that scales very easily across sports, so there's no worries there. The second key component is what we call sporting moment recognition. And that is the ability of the tech to understand the flow of the game and how the actions fit within the context of the sport. And that is something that's a little bit harder to scale. We'll probably need training data for each different sports, but the methodology behind it is pretty similar, so we're pretty confident that we can pull it off.
So Pierre, you didn't talk about the business model. How are you going to make money?
Right, so that's why we're also starting to work with these rights holders at the moment, so the clubs and the leagues, because at the end of the day, what we are unlocking is obviously lots of value for sponsors to create these new, more targeted sponsorships. But who they pay this to is the rights holders. So we are licensing our technology to rights holders as a kind of B2B SaaS, which enables the rights holders to create these new sponsorships packages. And then they can sell that to sponsors and create money for themselves.
If you're excited about what Pierre has presented today and want to get in touch with the team behind METALYNX, go on to demoday.antler.co/London and use the Get in Touch button on their page. Liminal Health provides technology-enhanced coaching for people affected by cancer and other long-term health conditions. And it's the first solo founder investment we ever made at Antler in the UK. In order to make this exception, we need to see a founder who has a deeper passion and motivation for the problem that they're trying to solve, and who we are convinced has what it takes to attract and excite an amazing team. We saw this in Candice. Then we couldn't have been more happy when we learned that Christine, who we already knew from the program, was joining Candice as a co-founder, bringing deep expertise in strategic marketing and communications, which we believe will be critical to their success.
Five years ago, I found a lump in my armpit. It turned out to be breast cancer. I went through endless treatments, only to find the following year that the tumor had returned in exactly the same spot. Thankfully, I've been cancer-free for the past 2.5 years, but it was not an easy journey. I couldn't find credible information or support to help me change the habits I needed to. I was never told that getting enough physical activity could reduce my risk of recurrence by 30 to 40%. Half of us will get cancer. As we get better at treating it, it's being increasingly experienced as a long-term condition. In fact, it's one of many long-term illnesses affecting the UK today. Each year, over 140 million sick days are taken, costing businesses £29 billion and a further 30k per leaver. Many long-term conditions are preventable through lifestyle changes, including cancer, nearly 40% of cases. We all know we need to exercise and eat healthy, but we find it difficult to motivate ourselves. We believe health coaching is the way forward, helping companies coach their people to better health and increased engagement while reducing churn. For individuals, coaching helps them make small yet achievable changes and be proactive in their well-being. Liminal provides technology-enabled coaching to people affected by cancer and other long-term conditions, including diabetes, heart disease, and most recently, long COVID. Liminal uses a SaaS model, enabling employers to regularly support their people. Employees are smart matched to one of our accredited coaches based on their preferences. We use technology to create a seamless and beautiful experience for both coach and client. We send nudges, and we capture the most poignant moments of sessions for clients to keep. Using our data, we will automate a lot of the process, allowing people to self-navigate through content modules. Imagine your employer offering you regular health tests alongside coaching and content to help you make any necessary lifestyle changes. In July, we ran a pilot. 6 people had 2 free coaching sessions and 2 paid for a third. They loved it. We saw a 61% increase in feelings of control and had a very high Net Promoter Score of positive 83. We've also developed exciting partnerships. We have 2 signed pilot employers and been accepted on 2 health sector support programs, providing connections to the NHS and valuable feedback. Starting in the UK, if we reach 1% of the 18 million people living with chronic conditions, that represents a market of over £150 million. Our ambition is to scale globally. Around £500 million over the last 2 years has been invested globally in long-term health tech. We're positioning ourselves to be early leaders in this space in Europe. Our deep experience of the patient perspective, content creation, and building partnerships gives us a differentiating strength. We have a fantastic team. I've formed high-profile partnerships building Fair by Design, a £10 million VC fund, and £1 million campaign to end the poverty premium. Christine, my co-founder and CMO, has over 20 years' experience developing engaging content and marketing for global brands. She's also faced a long-term condition herself. We've built our MVP using pro bono support from 2 exceptional product leaders, and our advisors span the charity, clinical psychology, and tech sectors. We've created Liminal because I wish it had existed 5 years ago. Our vision is a world where everyone finds it easy to be proactive about their health. Join us.
So Candice, how will you measure success? How will you prove to users and employers that your product is effective?
So we have 2 main audiences, I guess. We have employers and we have the individuals who are using the coaching. First of all, with employers, we want to work with our pilot employers to develop KPIs that mean something to them. So that could include increased engagement, increased productivity, and reduced churn, depending on what they already measure with their workforce. That's on the employer side. With users, we really want to make sure that our coaching is effective. So we're using 2 different types of surveys. First, the EQ5D, which is a validated quality of life survey widely used across the NHS. We'll be giving people the survey before their first coaching session and after their last coaching session to see what difference we've made. The second survey is because coaching is so bespoke for each individual person that each person will have their own goal. So what we're going to do is ask each person, what was your goal, and to what extent have you met that goal once a month over 6 months to see exactly what our coaching has done in their lives. And finally, we'll be asking them for feedback on us operationally and on our coaches.
So Christine, how will you keep customers engaged over time?
Yeah, so this is something that I'm really excited about. It's, for the last 20 years, I've been creating content specifically to engage customers for brands. So from our point of view, we have 2 customers actually. We have the HR leaders and employers, and we also have the patients, the people suffering from long-term illnesses. And what this gives us the opportunity is in both cases to create really compelling content for them. From an HR perspective, they really don't understand how to connect with people who have long-term illnesses, what to do when they find out they're diagnosed. So from the beginning of finding that out to already helping them through their journey, we can create content for them. We also really know how important it is to develop case studies and develop information around how other employers have used us. So things like case studies and thought leadership are going to play a huge part, not just in terms of engaging those employers, but also in building our pipeline. And then from the patient perspective, that's where it also gets incredibly exciting. The future of what we're doing is really about taking content modules, putting them in front of patients alongside the coaching so they can really help them understand how to improve what they're doing through their illness and get them to a better place and a better outcome in their journey.
Candice, the coaches are obviously a critical part of your business. How will you find them and vet them?
So we're starting with 8 incredible coaches who have all been personally recommended to us through our network. Coaching is an unregulated space in the UK, and so what we've done is work with experts to put together a process where we rate coaching accreditation and certification programs. A lot of it's based on whether those programs have a code of ethics that the coaches have to meet, as well as whether they have to do continuing professional development. And finally, we ask for references for all of our coaches.
What are the critical things to get right?
So we are really looking forward to bringing on board a head of product to join our team. They will be leading our product roadmap and helping us bring on board the development team that will create our own bespoke platform over the next year. So they are a critical hire for us, and we're looking forward to bringing on an exceptional individual. Our next priority is actually sales and continuing to develop and build on the traction that we've already had with employers. So speaking to more employers and bringing some more on board. And then finally, fundraising. We are kicking off our fundraise today, and we can't accomplish all the other things we want to do without fundraising. So that's it.
Christine, when someone suffers from a long-term health condition, it's not only the people themselves who suffer, but also the people around them. Are you planning a product for the close friends and family as well?
We've gotten this question a lot, and we know that both family and friends suffer just as much. Sometimes they require just as much support as the patient. So allowing us to provide health coaching to those people as well is absolutely a part of our product plan.
To join Liminal, supporting those living with long-term health conditions, head to demoday.antler.co/London and use the Get in Touch form.
During the most difficult weeks of the lockdown this year, the only shops that remained open were our very local convenience stores. However, these shops operate in an old-fashioned manner, and this needs to be changed. Over the past 6 months, I've had the pleasure to work with Nikolai, Ferdy, and Molik, a team of e-commerce veterans who've decided to lead this change. With high conviction, while Nikolai was building strong relationships with store owners, Ferdy was sorting out the operations, and Molik built a functioning e-commerce platform. The team got to market and generated their first revenues in a record time. PRICEBRING is now a rapidly growing business. We will soon hear from Nikolai, the CEO of PRICEBRING, who will share with us his vision of a rapidly evolving retail market in our local neighborhood.
Hello, we are PRICEBRING. Today, I want to talk about the convenience store sector, specifically corner shops. A typical corner shop would count stock manually and use pen and paper to create a buying list. They would purchase from cash and carries, a wholesale warehouse like Bestware Booker, and their net income margin is just 3–4%. So even a small deviation in purchasing prices would make a big difference. Unfortunately, store owners face a very cumbersome, time-consuming, and opaque replenishment process. I'll break it down for you. The prices differ by as much as 27% for a small can of Coke. You need to compare physical catalogs and websites of 5 cash and carries. You then need a van, a driver, and at least 6 hours of time to go pick it up. It's heavy stock. Finally, these cash and carries are very old school, so buggy websites and just bad user experience. Our solution is a B2B marketplace to replenish stock at the best prices, discover deals, and get it delivered. I'll show you how it works. We source now from cash and carries. We'll then go to wholesalers and distributors, and ultimately we want to cut out the middlemen and go to brands directly. We then engage a third-party logistics contractor who does picking, order assembly, and delivery. We are in talks with financial partners so that we can offer 7–14 days of payment. Finally, we deliver to corner shops who sit on the demand side of the platform. The way to make money here is through a 4% commission from the supply side called take rate. In addition to that, we charge a £20 delivery fee. The cost is everything associated with managing a third-party logistics contractor, so a van, a driver, fuel, congestion charge. And it's a huge market and growing. There are 47,000 convenience stores in the UK. We are targeting the unaffiliated independent stores. PRICEBRING is starting in London, where you have 2,300 corner shops. It's a £1.3 billion market. We come from a commerce background. I've launched 2 e-commerce ventures, been country manager 4 times, and have done a lot of buying and delivery. Ferdy also comes from Rocket Internet. He led marketplace operations in Lazada and set up operations in Shopwings, which is your Instacart business model in the grocery space. Malik had his digital product studio and gave birth to more than 20 startups. Malik built product in e-commerce, inventory management, warehouse management space. Within a month, we were able to achieve significant traction. We are now at £39,000 gross merchandise value. We've got 23 transactions, 9 corner shops are purchasing from us. We have 750 corner shops in the pipeline. And now, the big number. £15 million. That is exactly the volume of business a retail store chain of 25 stores in the making is willing to give us on an exclusive basis. We're working on it. What's the big vision? Well, we are digitally transforming the local store supply chain. We're starting with digitalizing trade, buy-sell operations. We are already bringing savings of 5% and 6 hours of time per order to a corner shop. We want to offer more than 14 days of payment and are talking with invoice financing partners. We will integrate with POS and hence have visibility in inventory and sales. Brands would love that information. Ultimately, we want to build a one-stop shop solution for corner shops. Please do reach out. We're keen to talk.
With regard to international expansion, how is it easy to scale this solution outside of the UK?
Our current focus is the UK market, and in particular London. Our target customers, they order in worth about 1.3 billion in annual purchasing, and we want to conquer that first. Having done that, we'll go beyond London to the rest of the UK, which is worth about 10 billion in annual purchasing. And should we conquer London, we'll go to France first, which is very similar to the UK.
Thinking about building a moat, why your firm like Ocado would not get into this market?
Well, first of all, Ocado is in an entirely different market, right? Their value proposition is B2C. They've optimized everything in terms of delivery to much smaller orders and infrequent replenishment. Our value proposition, on the other hand, is very much targeted specifically to the corner shop and is also in the B2B market. So that's our core value proposition.
And talking of moat, I think once we get into the transaction flow, there are plenty of add-ons that we can offer to our customers to build a strong lock-in. As our volume grows, we go to the suppliers and ask for more discounts, and which we pass on to our customers as well, so that they have more reasons to stay with us. This in turn creates a flywheel effect for us. Unlike incumbents, we are a digital-first company, and we plan to solve most of our customer problems with digital solutions. For example, we will create a barcode scan to order app so that they can place the orders easily with us. We will integrate with their EPOS and inventory management systems so that they know which product to order when. And then we'll integrate with their accounting system so that they can reconcile the entire transaction from start to end. On top of that, we'll offer them with payment and credit solutions so that they have strong reasons to keep buying from us and creating a lock-in. Behind all this, we'll capture all the data and we'll transition to a data-led product company.
So on the client side, where do you find new customers and how do you sign them up?
We are currently working with sales channel partners who introduce us to corner shops. One sells greeting cards to 350 corner shops. Another one sells vape products and SIM cards to 400 corner shops. They would make a warm introduction referral and we can onboard the customers that way. Word of mouth is a big factor. We're seeing that corner shop owners refer us to other shops. We're launching a referral program for that. We also did direct sales and were able to convince customers to place orders with us directly.
Why don't the convenience stores work with an established network rather than working with PRICEBRING?
So the corner shops that we target are independent, unaffiliated corner shop. That means they're usually family owned and operated. They're very specifically not chosen to be part of a symbol group because of the closed ecosystem the symbol group creates. We don't charge them any membership fee. We don't have any minimum order value that they need to achieve per month. And we also don't have any other requirements. That's exactly what our core value proposition is to these stores.
Wow, what an exciting space. Thanks guys for sharing your vision for this market. If you'd like to get in touch with the team, just go to demoday.antler.co/London.
Now, more than ever, businesses need access to capital. But getting financing from a bank can take ages, as it's still really manual. The team behind SCRIBE are here to fix this. Soon you'll hear from Rob, the CEO. Rob spent the last 7 years working in risk at Barclays, so he understands the pain points well. In week 5 of the program, Rob teamed up with Emmanuel, who had spent the last 8 years working in academia, leading AI research. Together, they're helping banks save money and unlock capabilities by making faster decisions.
Let me talk to you about unlocking economic growth. I'm Rob, and in mid-2018, I was sitting at my desk at Barclays, where my job was to analyze whether companies would be able to repay money they'd borrowed. I realized that in the 7 years I'd been there, this process hadn't changed at all. Even worse, it was taking way too long. Data entry, Q&A, back and forth, ultimately painful processes. Let me give an example. We had one client wait 3 months for a simple drawdown request. Now, this is painful for both banks and the clients they end up losing. We've spoken to most major banks, and it's a global problem. We know that banks miss significant opportunities to serve clients due to lengthy processes and abandoned requests. So when I say significant opportunities, this is what I mean. On average, each bank misses out on $4.5 billion of revenues every year. That's each bank every year. This is due to the fact that 1 in 5 requests are abandoned because it's taking too long, and coronavirus is making things worse. This isn't just a stat. I saw this all the time, and I was part of the problem. It's clear that organizations need to move faster, which is why we're building fully automated analysis from financials to reporting. Let me show you our solution, which is broken down to 3 steps: extract, write, review. We take scanned PDF financials and use computer vision to extract all relevant information. We then use a combination of natural language processing technologies to auto-populate your existing financial model before detecting and tagging relevant textual information. This is then fed to our natural language generation engine that will write the analysis. Our model is then able to answer human-sounding queries with human-sounding responses. My co-founder and CTO, Emmanuel, has a PhD in AI with significant experience leading research activity using these advanced machine learning technologies. We're using research that was only published a few months ago, straight from the lab. This is deeply innovative for the industry. You'll remember that at the beginning I said this can take up to 3 months. We're able to reduce that down to just 3 days. By moving faster, banks will be able to increase revenue by up to 4%, reduce costs by around £40 million per bank, and reduce losses from defaults through better analysis, all while unlocking economic growth for their clients. This combination of Emmanuel's academic background and my deep finance knowledge means that we can solve the problem with defensible, cutting-edge technology. We've validated our thinking with most global banks, and we're close to pilots. We're also exploring opportunities elsewhere in finance. Our PDF extraction just went live, underpinning our written analysis, which is already in development. The example you see here was generated just minutes after a results announcement. Although this alone isn't sufficient for a credit decision, analysis like this is a game changer for the industry. But finance is just the start. Our ultimate mission is to explain the world's data while removing bias from analysis. Over time, we'll be able to generalize our models to any kind of information, applying them to industries from science to journalism. In an age of data saturation, unbiased written analysis will remain essential for decision making. We're Scribe, and we help finance move faster with AI-powered storytelling.
Brilliant, thanks for the pitch, guys. So my first question is, why wouldn't a bank build this themselves?
Yeah, good question. I think if a bank were to build this themselves, it would take them longer than 5 years. So this is a quote from somebody in the industry. Innovation spending has really focused on retail banking and also the market side of banks, so this really isn't a focus. It's also such a critical part of their operations that they've struggled to implement technology in their area, which is why we think we have an edge over them.
Let's talk about sales. How long do you think it will take to get your first customer signed up?
So bank sales cycles typically between 6 and 9 months. So this would be a 3-month proof of concept and a 6-month pilot. So in terms of sales, that's how long we see it happening. We're in dialogue with a small group of banks and we've submitted proposals to a few of them already. So we anticipate that taking around 6 to 10 months. It's not a straightforward process, as you can imagine.
Other than banks, do you see other companies making use of this tech?
Yeah, so particularly on the buy side, so fixed income, high yield, and also private equity in finance. So we've already spoken to quite a few people in there. There's clear interest. Some of the work being done is very similar to credit analysis within banks. Elsewhere, certainly pension funds and also insurance as well is another particular area where this tech would be useful. Effectively, anyone making a lending or an investment decision will find our technology exciting and useful. Cool.
Will you have to tailor-make some of the tech around the customers you have?
So when it comes to the customization, I would like to say 2 different points. The first one, about the product, it's really flexible because all the machine learning model we are training them on public data. And then our customers, so the banks at the end, will be able to take those models, fine-tune them in-house so that they will own the model without having to share private data with us. So they will fine-tune the models on their own private data. The second point is around the end user inside the banks, which are the people writing the analysis. And they are used to do all of that in Microsoft Office, so either using Excel, Word, or both. So we are planning to deliver the interaction with our product through Microsoft Office plugins. And just a side point related to that, every customer-facing part of our product is actually built on top of our own API that we're building as well, which means that everything is really future-proof when they will update their workflow the more they use our product as Scribe.
How easy would it be for someone else to copy this?
That's a very good question. So I'd say that our defensibility is coming from 2 angles. The first one is the aspect about the technology. So we are creating, building, and training our own machine learning models based on research, academic research, that has been published only a few months ago. So on top of the obvious technological skills that you need to train and put in production the models, you need to have a strong academic skill in artificial intelligence particularly. The second angle is for the domain expertise, because everything that we're doing is fully automated, right? We are not outsourcing anything to lower cost locations for writing the analysis. So it means that we need to have the credit risk expertise in the team. So I'd say that the combination of those skills is actually very unique, and we have the luck to have that in-house in the team. So that's why we are very confident about our defensibility.
Brilliant. Thank you, Team Scribe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to get in touch with Scribe, just head to demoday.antler.co/London and use the Get in Touch button on the Teams profile.
Thank you all for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed it. Seeing how far our previous Antler cohort has progressed, We're excited to see the 7 companies take off and accelerate their developments. If you'd like to talk to any of the companies, please go on demoday.antler.co/London and request for an introduction. We're looking forward to seeing you again in 6 months, hopefully at an in-person event. Our 3rd cohort has already started and we're running at full steam there. Thank you again for joining and see you soon.